And welcome back. We were talking about Patreon, the new exciting launch.
I know.
But more about that was the fact that we had to go through a journey to get to a point where we could get to that. I mean, that's what we were just talking about briefly on the break. And actually, as we cut away, it was like, hey, you know, we couldn't have this conversation before because we actually didn't know what we were offering. We didn't have the intangibles. And I think, though we were going to skip that back, I think it's important for the conversation.
It is because, and you're saying you're bringing the intangibles, and we have to question, why would people pay you a couple of dollars a week to watch your channel?
Absolutely. And this is what I've really struggled with Breaking Business, and where I've taken obviously your coaching on board, is I could easily define what Breaking Business was. You know, I know what that is going to be, and I even understand how it benefits because, as we talked about before, we've built the avatar. We've all met Simon. We've built the avatar.
Pretty sure that one.
I know who I'm talking to.
Yes.
And that's come out of these conversations. It's come out of talking to my team. And again, another one of these intangible ROIs, that clarity.
Yes.
Of having those conversations and making that investment, which isn't necessarily a dollar figure, but it's a thinking.
No.
So I know who I'm talking to. I understand what they need. So I've been able to structure, obviously, the day, you know, the Monday, the Wednesday, the Friday, and all that sort of kind of thing. But the Patreon, it was disconnected because I wasn't quite sure what we were offering, and exactly as you said, why people would throw a couple of dollars in our kitty. And because I couldn't understand that, I couldn't clarify the offering.
Yeah. And I think it's really come down to people value education, but they also value entertainment.
And I think the other thing we said was that our world has changed so much with crowdfunding now. People are really happy to go, that's actually a damn good idea.
I'll help you achieve
I'm going to
it.
help you achieve that.
Yeah.
And yet 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, it just wasn't a thing.
And I think it was perhaps even difficult to do. But once you go Patreon and you'll see it launch very, very soon, or if you're watching this as a replay, you'll see it launched. And it is
We're already there, yeah.
Breaking Business. And it'll be creating videos about, and it's basically going to be creating videos about business people who are breaking the rules and still being successful.
Absolutely, super successful.
And it's like, hold on, okay. And then we said, okay, so what does that look like? I mean, what does the show look like? And we're going, okay, so you've got to set a theme, which we've learned from doing media work. We talk about introduce characters, so we're going to chat to somebody who's in business. You know,
Who's out there doing it.
Yeah, this is a theme for the week, and you seem to, you know, exemplify this thing. Let's have a bit of a chat to you. What have you been doing, you know, with your bees or whatever it is you're doing, living on a yacht, wherever you are. And then we're going, okay, so we've got that. But then they want to know a little bit about what we've been up to for the week.
Absolutely.
Maybe some of the gear we've been using.
Yeah, because this is the thing, that we are theoretically living examples of what we're trying to do. We are not doing things normally. We're not doing the conventional 9 to 5 into the office, red brick house, staff of 100 people to scale our business. We're earning, you know, pretty averagely good, you know, certainly enough to keep food on the table sort of kind of money, and not having to do that.
Yeah, and then going to have Patreons go, well, hold on, I've got a question to ask. Terrific. We'll have a question of the week, and we'll get some of these business people and give them a 60-second challenge, make it a bit of fun. Here's 60 seconds to answer this question.
Yeah, this is the problem this person's got. What would you recommend? What would your advice be? What would your advice be? What would your advice be? What would your advice be?
Solutions in a minute.
Solutions in a minute. Nice.
But how do you put a tangible values on a show like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd go, $2, it's worth watching. Say, what do you get out of your $2? I'm getting hints, but I couldn't actually go.
I can't tell you.
I couldn't actually go, well, because I watched it this week, I made a $100 sale or made a fun.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
No, you can't take. You'd like to hope they could take a piece of advice and implement it, because it's about solutions. That you could take maybe an affiliate, someone we've found who could offer a service, and then and using our affiliate link, you can get there's a tangible. I need to do some design stuff done. We've got an affiliate to Design Crowd. They go through our link and it saves you $100. I mean, that's more tangible, but you probably find you've heard me say that 10 times before you actually do anything with it.
It's like equipment, isn't it? They're tangible. You watch and you learn what cameras we're using, and then you can make some choices of what other people are using. Okay, that kind of works for me. They're tangible things. But the whole show in itself has got a lot of intangible elements reading in, and people go, for $2, I get so much value, but not physical value.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got that real intangible. I was watching one of the guys the other day on Patreon, and it was really, they were saying, when you subscribe at this level, we'll send you $100 worth of gear. And I'm going, and it didn't quite, because that's not what I signed up for.
No, true, okay.
I signed up for, let me be entertained, but let me learn a little bit. Let me see your creative. Let me see how you're doing it differently. Oh, I really like how you did that. I wonder how, and then I asked myself the question, how could I use that in my business? Yeah, I've got to reshape it, remold it, but how could I use it? And I think they're the intangibles with Patreon that really sink home with people. And the fact that once you're a patron, you can re-watch the things.
Yeah, true.
And you get access to things you're not going to do for other people as well, you know, and sharing with them. So that was interesting. So forming a Patreon site for breaking business, you know,
is an exercise in clarity.
Yeah, creating videos about business owners doing things, breaking all the rules and still being highly successful. It's like, okay, okay, I want to do it the
normal way.
What are these rules you're breaking? It's kind of a bit rebellious. I kind of like it.
Yeah, well, it's sort of a case of, you obviously can't break all the rules. You can't sort of kind of say, thanks very much, give me your money for your inspection, now I'm going to run off to Barbados. That's not one of the rules. Yeah, that's not one of the rules that we're suggesting, but we're saying that you don't need to necessarily do things the way that your parents did or your grandparents did, the expectation there. I mean, I've got a friend of mine that has decided very young that she doesn't like this whole academic hoo-ha, but she did love to travel.
Huh.
So her business card says professional tourist.
Well, there you go.
Not surprisingly, she has a travel blog and she's got all that sort of kind of stuff. But that's what she does. She's got involved in a company that people travel. And it's a network marketing thing and all the rest of it. But she travels. That's what she does. She's a tour leader. She goes all over the world. But that came from her sitting there going, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. Okay, what do I love to do? What's the one thing that if I could do nothing else for the rest of my life, I had to get up every morning and do that, what's the one thing, what would that be? And then she decided, she goes, right, how do I make that pay the bills?
No, isn't that a different approach?
And that's what it is. And that's what I'm saying about breaking business and doing things differently. It's what do I love to do, which is fantastic. And there's so many things that people love to do. But there's a fundamental, how do I make that pay the bills? And if you can't make this pay the bills, this is a hobby or something you do in your time off. But you've got to find something. I love to teach. How do I make teaching pay the bills? Well, I could go and teach at secondary school. Hell no. But I think I'd last. My sister's an amazing woman. She's a paramedic and she's a midwife and she does all these amazing things. And she has this incredible tolerance and this brilliance with children. I'd be in jail for something horrendous like, I couldn't do it.
My daughter's a school teacher and I just look at her and go, you're absolutely amazing.
I can see my sister glow when she walks in the room. She's got this saintly glow to her. I've got no idea how she manages to pull it off. So just because I love to do something doesn't mean I need to do, but that is fundamentally who I am. So in my happy place is where, like the other weekend, my happy place, I spent 2 days teaching brand new beekeepers how...
I was going to say, it had to be the bees.
It had to be my bees, my bees and my bliss. Teaching brand new beekeepers how to look after their hives, what to look for, how to encourage the health of their bees and all this. And the engagement was fantastic. And we're there, we've got the beehives. These people have not been in beehives ever. So they're looking at the bees for the very first time and they're going, and then they get enthused and all of a sudden that whole fear. And they're looking at them and go, oh, look at this and look at that. And there's the... And... You know, and then you're parting this knowledge, the feedback was huge, and you're part of someone's journey. That is my happy place. That is my place of complete bliss. How do I make money out of that? That's really what this is about. And I love business, and I love how business goes together. Can I make that into a point where I can do that? I can share my knowledge, my message, my learnings, make someone else's journey easier, and still pay my bills. And that's what breaking business is about. And that's what doing things unconventionally and living in a different way is all about.
And we'll be back.